All right, so today's video, we're watching a Plat 2 support on PC play Juno and Mercy on Rio. They say, greetings. This game was the closest one I had in a while. I usually main Mercy, but decided to play Juno to fit the team comp better. However, later when I switched to Mercy, we seemed to be doing worse, and our Bastion/Sombra started flaming and being rude in chat. I feel like I am better on Mercy than the other heroes, but I constantly get flamed for playing her and told to switch. Is the hero I am playing really the reason I am not climbing? And what can I do to improve on other heroes like Juno? Or am I doing something else wrong that I don't know about? Still, it was a very close and fun game for me with a few silly mistakes, especially towards the end. So I hope you enjoy. Generally, and especially in a lot of ranks, it's generally just what you're best at. Because meta doesn't really come into play till way later. Okay, here we go. Okay, the only thing I will say is if your support line stays the same here, it could get a little bit more difficult. It could get a little bit more difficult, but we'll see how it goes. All right. So far, you're just doing a little bit of poke. You're healing. All right. So far, everything's fine. Taking map control, speed ring when it's up. Try to speed ring your team in. I feel like sometimes when I speed ring, it's more likely my team gets aggressive. It's funny. I think that one thing that's very interesting about Juno for me is like, if you speed boost your teammates, half the time they won't even react to it and they just stand there. But because the speed ring is so obvious, it feels like people actually use the speed boost, which shows more value for speed boost, which is why for a long time it's always been talked about how like on Lucio, finding the good balance between that can be so helpful because like speed boost is such a big part of the game and it can make team fights so much easier. Or you could argue sometimes worse, especially, I don't know if anybody's ever been like, I mean, I'm sure this happened to everybody in game. Ever had the missed time speed boost where you're going to aim a shot and then you get speed boost and you start moving and it's like, what the? Wait a second. So far, everything's been fine. I mean, real talk, like you're kind of sticking with your team. You're using your speed ring frequently. Obviously, like if I had to really sit back for a second and like be like, hey, like, use your speed ring when your teammates are there, yes, but at the same time, it's like you're getting value out of it, it's working. I'd rather see you use it more than to have you not use it. Like right now, like after you heal up here, you can speed ring this. Yeah, this helps you too. Yeah, there you go. Speed ring's fine. Remember, speed ring, whenever you use it, no matter what on Juno, you're gonna get the benefit of it. No matter where you throw it, you're gonna get the benefit of it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with, ooh, that was a get rocked. With using your speed ring a little bit more frequently, right? So, yes, you get the boost from it. Yeah, no matter what. Yeah, as long as you go through it. But with Juno, I think if I'm correct, I think two things with Juno's speed ring. One, you always will get it for Juno, but two, you get it through whoever you throw it through. Oh, that makes sense. So, like, if it has a little bit of distance to it, whoever it goes through at the same time as you're throwing it will also get the benefit, if I'm correct. Like, if, say, you're right here, and then you throw your Juno ring here, this Cassidy would still get the benefit of the Juno ring from the get-go. That makes sense? So that's why I like to see it used a little bit more, because it really can benefit your team a lot. And I think some people still don't quite use it a lot. You are not in that case right now. You use that quite a bit, so nothing wrong with that. Perk-wise, I like the right-click heal one. This kind of sucks because I think your teammates could have won this team fight, and you have the classic, everybody gets off the point. I don't even mind you going for your Juno ult here, and I know people are going to be like, what do you mean? I think this is one of those team fights where you got the Kitsune out. I don't know, actually. It's fine, it's just, you just trade ults. You're just basically resetting your ult economy, and yeah, I think I'm okay with that. I would have speed ringed that earlier, but I think that's okay. Win or lose that team fight, you're resetting ult pools, and so far the other team hasn't proven they can win the neutral. The neutral would be, take the spawn, take the spawn, take the spawn, you can yep, there you go. Good job. The neutral is like where you don't have ultimates, and again, you got all their ults out, and then your teammates won the team fight. So the other team hasn't proven that they can win in the neutral right now, and that's the problem. A rank plat. But so far, your team's having a good time. Said for the perks, I do like the right-click perk that basically heals quicker. It just makes it easier to get your teammates back to full and gives you more DPS time, truthfully. So that's on you, bad positioning. Your teammates are all centered down bottom left. You going high ground there is fine, but you need to recognize your teammates are there. So keep in mind, you notice how something that I'd really like, the high ground, can sometimes be considered bad positioning. It's only because your team hadn't cleared that left side and you didn't even look to see if it was cleared. You just went up there, and that's why you fell over. So I want to showcase you that sometimes, even though we might bring up that high ground is great, it doesn't mean at the time it's the correct play, and that was one of them. It's where you basically didn't really search to your left. You went up there, and you got flanked and fell over. So even though like you didn't get the Doom right away, that's why I like the right-click heal perk, is because like you can just basically catch up on your heal really fast, more than normal. You can speedring your teammates now because you want your teammates to get ahead now. There you go, perfect speedring. Could have obviously located it a little bit more towards the center, so it's more obvious for your teammates to take it. But point being is that your teammates now have a huge numbers advantage. Let's get that map control. Is exactly what you did. I would use your ultimate the moment you get it here. I think that'd be super important. If you get it in time before your teammates die, of course. This gets a little bit interesting because your teammates need help on point and no one's helping. Yep. Okay, this is the problem here. And here we go again. Maybe you'll win it. But right there, that was like a team effort where like you kind of ditched your teammates on cards. So anybody who went there, I would have preferred if you stay back there and then help your teammates on their way out. But it looks like, again, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think your team should still win this. I don't know. This is... Oh, by the way, you mentioned that you're much better on Mercy. I don't even think your Juno gameplay is that bad, though. Am I seeing it wrong? Like, I feel like you have a lot of right ideas. Obviously, some things you can work on, but, like, I'm not really seeing a situation where it's like, oh, your Juno's terrible. What are you doing? Like, oh, like, you know, you've made a couple more, like, it's more like gameplay decisions than it is about, like, your mechanics or your ability to use the cooldowns. At least so far. This is a long team fight. Holy crap. This is taking forever. I would say a good reset for your team would benefit your team greatly. Sometimes your team just needs a reset. Unless your this is going to be one of those times where someone just randomly goes in the cart and that's it. Watch. These are the team fights that delay you like an hour on the point, and then you never cap it. But maybe I'm wrong. Now you have a high noon. Now you're gonna get. I don't. It works. You know what? Sometimes it just works, and the best thing I can do is just, you know what? Yep. Hey, listen. Credit where credit's due. Your teammates win it. So, no, I can't be mad about that one. Actually, never mind. Nope. Wait. Yes. No. This is a roller coaster of emotions. I don't know. Yep. Okay. Now you've, and then he gets. Yep. And then you just get the point. Yep. There you go. Good job. Good job getting the point. That was like a 3-minute battle for the end of the point. But yes, real talk though, I think you did a good job on Juno. I didn't like, the number one issue you had was decision making. It was like your decision making to go to certain spots just wasn't good. And I think that was more of the problem that I saw out of you. I wasn't really like oh, you suck at Juno, you need to switch off that hero like immediately. I thought you were playing fine for the most part. Continue on. And now you're on Mercy. Okay. So this is the swap between halves where you go Mercy. You're fine on Mercy here, just to make that clear. You have a Bastion, you have a Cass, you have a BAP. You have pretty much your whole team can be damage boosted. You know, listen, I'm not going to say why you lost this first point, but what I just witnessed right there, maybe why your teammates struggled a little bit to start the game. You know, but you know, hey, listen, maybe your team's fine. Hey, your team's fine. There you go. You're good. Man, this game has been wild so far. This game has been wild so far. Hey, and then your teammates have hold it. Again, I don't think the Mercy selection's bad here. I actually think, like, with the comp that you have, this is perfectly fine. I don't see this at all and go, oh, wow, we know. If you were on the Mercy Lucio comp, which can, again, it can work in ranks. People, I'm sure, watching the video are like, oh, I've won with that comp all the time. It's fine. It just doesn't have as much synergy and a lot less healing output, so if your teammates aren't able to get, like, really quick kills or take too much poke damage is just random 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 damage here and there. You eventually just can't catch up on heals. But I don't see an issue with this at all. I mean, your team comp is totally fine for this. I don't think it's going to really hurt your team comp. Yeah. I'd be fine with this. Yeah. Amanda, thanks for the 37 months of the Prime stuff. Thank you, Hiimishie. Thanks. But also, have you seen if she takes anything more high ground, or you mean if they can play? Well, no, like, I mentioned the high ground earlier. Like, right there, yeah, you can go high ground. But that was more of just, like, sticking with your teammates around the middle of the point. You're talking about earlier on Juno? No, because your teammates were never taking high ground. So, like, that was a situation where the high ground is very accessible on third point of this map. So it's not like a second point Dorado high ground, right? When it's more accessible for the other team, if you go up there over and over again by yourself, you're going to fall over, so you need to time your high ground. Second point here, yeah, you could argue you want to be on the high ground because it's easier for the defense to get up there, like be up there with your BAP type of thing. But if your Bastion's going to be in the middle of, like, right here, you're going to opt to go to your Bastion, right? Sometimes, when you want to get the full value of Mercy, it's also going to put you out of position sometimes. Because your teammates almost dictate your position, right? There's a reason why a really good Pharah may not get the Mercy killed as much as, like, if I'm playing Pharah and I'm playing Flora half the time, right? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're gonna, you know, it's... Yep. And Ramatra's pretty good. Yeah. Perks, too. Yeah, you're playing fine on Mercy. I mean, I think your Juno and Mercy were both fine. Straight up. I think your Juno and Mercy were both fine. So far, so good. I don't know why your teammates got angry initially. There we go. Alright. So far, good Valk, good damage boost, balance. Again, this is fine. Turn around, yeah, go for the Echo, why not? Heck it, no one else can really... There you go. Teammate gets the kill. I think the cover's good. You said close, maybe get a bit closer to their team. No, not necessarily. I mean, you want a little bit more wiggle room with Mercy on that, so... I don't even think you'd want to be, like, super, super close to your team if you have... Like, Guardian Angel allows for you to kind of go back and forth a lot, so, like... You don't necessarily need to just be next to somebody the whole time. You need to be within range to be able to heal boost or damage boost them, but you know, play position that's more safe. Yeah. Yep. You're telling me that you said if you were against this team, you would personally swap to a different tank. You're saying that you would switch off Mauga against Roadhog. I would suggest not to do that. I think you're actually in a pretty good matchup there against the Hog. I would stay on the Mauga. Mauga's probably pretty good against that. You're not going to see me on Mauga, right? You're not going to see me on Mauga. You're probably going to see me on a hero like Diva or Sigma in this situation because I just want to play the hero, but, like, I don't think you're going to see me on Mauga. But Mauga's good here against what they're running. That's just a lot of damage. Good job keeping your cast alive. That was a lot of damage. Has the flash heal felt better for Mercy since the change? I will say, playing against a Mercy, like in top 500 games, the flash heal is much more apparent. That's something I've noticed, is the flash heal is much more apparent when it happens against me, which means it's probably a little bit better. Granted, I don't know how much better it is, but it definitely, I can see it, I see when it happens to me in-game. Like, I watch the burst heal happen. It actually has an animation for it. Yeah, I mean, like, listen. Real talk, the way that your team played the third point, all the way from that Mauga ultimate, has nothing to do with whether you're on Juno or Mercy. Straight up, your teammates just got rolled. Everybody got rolled there. That's all that was. That wasn't like, oh, it has to be this person's fault. Oh, it has to be that. Like, it was straight up just like a team effort that y'all got rolled that way. That's it. Here we go. Use Hazard. Not bad. Nice kill. Good heals. Oh. Lumen's been pretty good too. Everything's been fine. Yeah, I don't know. There you go, healing your team, playing angles. You don't get rolled. Lumen's good. Yeah, everything's been clean. Both on Juno and Mercy. Like, obviously, you have more playtime on Mercy, but I think your Juno is at a level where I think you're going to be just fine being able to swap between the two. From what I've seen. Yep. No, when someone was saying that they think it would be cool if Mercy had a self-res perk, and I said that's You could do that, you just can't make it so the Mercy would be able to self-res and then res again, right? I mean, I think that would be the trade-off. As in, like, revive your teammate. Yeah, your teammates need to be cart. You kind of want to get the res off, so I see what you're doing, but yeah. That's a tough one. I feel like... I'm going to show you this before the round is. I think at this point, you just tap cart and play it slow. I know you really want to force this res here, but I think you have... Look, I want you to see like how close the spawn doors are. You have a kill by your teammates earlier on, if I recall. Not even the Zenyatta that just died. So if you look at the numbers advantage here, you see this? There's a emongg and spawn. I think you just play to tap cart and let your teammates spawn up. Play to live. I think that's what you do. Because... you're trying to force this res, but you just need to tap the cart. You already have 2 kills. So, like, let your teammates just spawn up, and then you should be fine. I think that this team fight can go longer. I think your movement also has proven to me that I think you can do, like, the fly to the point and then tap back off the point type of play. From what I've seen, your movement is capable of that. So I think you go for that play instead of forcing the res. Especially, listen, I get it if, like, the cart's all the way up here and it's like, yeah, listen, it's not gonna matter. You need to get that res off for even the chance to win it. But when your spawn's like right here and you're towards the tail end of an overtime spawn, let your teammates spawn up. I think that would be more beneficial than trying to force that res, bounce back and forth, tap the cart, give yourself opportunity. Even if you lose it, I think you give yourself a much better chance if you do that. Much, much better chance if you do that. And it happened again. Like your team losing there at that beginning part, that was bound to happen because your team got rolled on the first part of that, but you survived it because of some really good individual play with like a Roadhog hook and a couple like random picks. I always find that when you make those adjustments, you have to look at where like there was a bit of a problem with where your team was struggling at, and that was one of them. I remember where you lost somebody from the get-go, and then your teammates clutched it out and you guys won it, right? And everybody clutched it. Y'all were able to win it. But, you know what I mean? Like, now it's like, you all just kind of end up doing the same thing and getting rolled. And that's the problem. And then now you get snowballed, and then I imagine you probably lose the game, based off of what I'm seeing. If you go Juno here, actually, your teammates get kills, so maybe you do hold it, actually. 0.01 meters. 0.01 meters. Now the question is... Oh, wait, if I'm correct, if you right-click your cooldown, if you stop your cooldown there, it still puts it on cooldown, so you might as well let that, like, that heal loose. Maybe you get an extra 1% health charge. I think your team's probably going to struggle here. You'd have to really hard pocket your Amateur and hope for the best. And then you lose the game. So, like, this is the point I'm making is I think this is just, like, a team effort loss. At least in my opinion, you had, like, every opportunity to win this game. And when it came to the second half, when you really needed to clutch it, y'all just kind of made the decision to go do the same thing. And I think that's kind of the problem is, like, you don't want to just sit there on that high ground. And I think in the overtime is where things went wrong for your team. Just, like, the decision-making. Even when I mentioned that, like, you could have probably just bounced off the cart and got the cart even further, and it's a much different game, right? I don't really think the swap from Juno and Mercy was a reason as to why this game was, like, won or lost. I think you were fine on Juno. I think on Mercy, you were fine on Mercy, and I think the team comps that went with it were fine. I think what happened was your teammates were playing really well. The moment there was any change of pace to where the other team started to really push back, that's when your team started to struggle, and then you never found your footing after that because I think, and I don't know what the team comms were like or what people were going, but like I imagine what happened was y'all probably had like a tilt and team fight, started to try to figure out why it went wrong, looked where to blame, and in reality, it was just you lost the team fight because the other team played well. Sometimes it's not about your team playing bad. It's about the other team just makes a better play. And sometimes it's okay that you lose a team fight that way. And that's what it felt like. That was the vibe. Y'all got ulted by Mauga, rolled by Mauga on second point, got snowballed all the way through third. That's common. That can happen even in top 500 games. And then you after that, your team is scrambling to figure out what to do. When in reality, you probably could have just done everything the same outside of what you did on the second point defense, or the second time around of first point defense, that is. I saw some good out of you. I think I would like to see, definitely, you know, keep it up with the speed rings on Mercy. I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, I think you did a good job flying back and forth. I think, like, your ult timings, I think the number one thing you need to work on is your positioning. And you know, you're probably like, oh, damn it, we got the positioning feedback. Sometimes it's just how it goes, okay? And I think you got yourself killed a few times by just kind of misplacing yourself across the map. And I think that was a bit of the problem. So next time I would like to see you make a little bit more slight adjustments to that. Like recognize, okay, this is the right time to go there. Play corners more. Recognize that when, like, you know, even when you're flying on Mercy, that you need to make sure you're taking the right path. And when you do that, when you're on Juno, don't go on random high grounds because you have more mobility, right? Your teammates don't. I do like when people go high ground, but it needs to be in the right scenarios. And I kind of explained that one earlier. So clean up your position and I think you'll climb. I think you'll start to climb. You got this. You absolutely got this. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to all the YouTubes if you haven't, leave a comment. All that helps. You want to submit your own spectating, look in the description below. Join my Discord, and that's where you would do that. We also record these live on stream. See the Twitch app of the webcam, also stream on YouTube. Stop by. We have a lot of fun here. With that being said, hope you all have an amazing day/night.